Hey, I got a SAT 2 math question here. It's basically trying to figure out the equivalent form of this factorial equation up here. Um, if time is of importance, I think a quicker way would be to substitute some value like 4 in for n, and then try each scenario. There's just less room for error. I think it could be faster. But you could also kind of manipulate the top equation to turn into one of the bottom equations. So if you went that route, if you think about what n plus 1 factorial is, if n were 4, that's just 5 factorial, which 5 factorial is 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, which is n factorial, which is this part, times n plus 1, which is this part. So you could rewrite the top as n plus 1 times n factorial squared. And you'll see why I'm trying to get this factorial by itself, because the answer choices don't have a factorial, so I'm trying to get rid of the factorial by canceling it out on the top and the bottom. The bottom would be the same as saying 3 factorial. And if you're starting with 4 factorial, how would you get to 3 factorial? So it's 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. We want it to be this, or cancel out and be 1. So we would want to take 4 factorial, or n factorial, and divide it by n squared. And we can't get rid of these because they have unlike bases. You can't just get rid of the powers and call them equal. So on the bottom, another way of writing this would be n factorial times 1 over n. So if I were to just erase this and replace it with n factorial times 1 over n, now our n factorials cancel. So we got n plus 1 squared over 1 over n squared. 1 over n squared, when it's on the bottom, turns into n to the negative 2, and you can bring it to the top when you have a negative exponent in the denominator. So then you would have n squared times n plus 1 squared, which happens to be answer choice D.